What you doing, Napoli Nation? Mario, how's it going? We got a good win
Chilling,
last night in the
chilling.
Champions League. We'll talk about that later, but let's get right into the first part of our episode, and that's going to be going over the Sassuolo match. Man, I'm gonna tell you, every game we need to just know that something special is going to come out of Victor and Cavada, right?
Facts.
Talk about those goals a little bit, man. I mean, I was there watching it live, but
Yeah.
watching it on TV, you get a little bit different of a perspective, and you were able to watch the replays right after they scored. What did you think about both of those goals?
Oh man, both astonishing goals. Whenever I saw Cavada dribbling down the middle of the field, and I saw the defender slide to him, I don't know how he got that. Like from the angle that I was watching at, I don't know how he got that ball through. It was crazy. And then the fact that he was able to cut right and then nutmeg shot the other defender through the, it's just crazy. And then I mean Osimhen's goal, not the best goalkeeping, but an amazing goalkeeper regardless. And he just didn't expect it. I mean, who takes that shot? Who
Mm.
takes that shot? I'm
Victor
just speechless.
Osimhen takes that shot.
I saw another Napoli player, an older attacker. Who was it that had that?
Careca.
Uh,
Careca.
there you go. I don't know. This is destiny, man. This is crazy.
Man, when you say destiny, every match I feel more and more like it's destiny of what's going on this year. Everything is
That's
just
crazy.
going perfect.
Yep.
Everything's going their way. The fact that they're not actually in the Coppa Italia works in their favor. They've gotten good draws in the Champions League, and they've played their game every single match. It is just crazy what's going on. And to be able to go to a road match and feel like it's in the Maradona because of all the fans that are there to support Napoli, that it's a crazy feeling. When I was walking up to the stadium, there was Napoli fans everywhere. I didn't see any Sassuolo fans. This I'm not exaggerating, man. So just before I got to the gate to get into the stadium, I finally saw a Sassuolo fan. Well, I take that back. I saw two. I saw an older lady that was all dressed up in green. She had green hair and everything. It was really cool to see that. And then I saw a group of teenagers, and one of them had a Sassuolo scarf on, and that was just before my gate. And I just walked up and started talking to them, and I just asked the question, "Hey, where are all your fans at?" And he's like, "This is normal. We have a lot of home games that really are like road games because there's so many fans that come to support the other team. And you know, you guys are killing it. So of course there's going to be a ton of you all, and there's a lot of Napolitani that actually live in this area. So I was like, okay, it makes sense. But what was really nice was how we could all be together. Like even if there was just a few of them, there was no riff. We were all there to watch a calcio match, and there was no issues going on. It was a really nice feeling, and I wish it was like that more throughout the country and all the stadiums. And then after the game, what I thought was really, really special is that there was little groups and patches of people that were celebrating, right? And a Sassuolo fan walked up to one of the groups just because he wanted to participate, and he started just like cheering with the fans as a Sassuolo fan, and it was just a really cool feeling to see. I really like seeing that, and I've seen it maybe 2 or 3 times where I felt like the fans were there and they weren't really worried about being on the opposite sides, you know what I mean? They just wanted to watch a culture game together, so I really love that. I wish it was more common. But going back to the goals, man, so like Cavada has gotten the nickname that stuck most with him is Cavada Dona. And that goal, like you were talking about, how he dribbled down the pitch and nutmegged the player and all that kind of stuff. It was Madonna-esque, man. It could remind you of what Maradona used to be able to do, with some of the highlights that we watched and everything. So it's a good nickname that he's gotten. My nickname. I love saying K Town, but Cavada Dona is definitely the one that sticks more with him. And I hope it doesn't slow down, man. I hope they continue doing what they're doing because it's something special, man. They're the best duo in Europe. They are the best right now.
Yep.
Statistically, they might be just below a couple other duos, But when it comes to what they're doing for the team and how successful Napoli is, they're the best. They're the best in Europe right now, man. They really are.
Yep.
So if you had to pick a player from this match that you would label as man of the match, who would that be?
You know what? I'm gonna go with Cavada. He was all over the place. He delivered an amazing cross to Osimhen. Like we said, Osimhen wasn't as clinical. I would have definitely gave it to him if he had the hat trick that he deserved, that he should have had. You know, we saw his pull he had. He had a really weird shot with his side foot, his right foot. It went super wide. I don't know if he meant to cross it or if he was shooting, but he had a lot of chances. You know, so if Osimhen dropped 2 goals, I would give it to him. But Cavada was the most complete player this game, all over the pitch, providing, delivering, doing what he does. No flop of the match for me. I mean, really, you could probably say Oliveira. You know, he started. He usually doesn't start Serie A games. We see Rui there, so I usually expect a lot more from our left back position there. He didn't do much. He was average at best. He also didn't look too great. He was lucky that the goal they scored was offsides because he was sleeping on that one. That's also a little
Mm,
hit on his score. So yeah, I mean, I guess I could give the flop of the match to Oliveira, and we'll also get into him a bit more with the Frankfurt match as well, and how we think he did starting. So
I mean, were you surprised that he started this match? Did you think that he was going to start like from the get go? Like, if you had to go back and just imagine who was going to start that match because the Champions League match was next, would you have started
no,
Oliveira? Or would you started Rui so that you could have
you know,
the opposite player in the Champions League? What would you have done there?
I don't think Spalletti did that. Like I said, Spalletti has a mind of his own. We don't know what's going on in that big head of his, in the Spallettone. Maybe he wanted Oli to get a little warm up in. We haven't seen him start in quite a while since the other Champions League match. In
Mm,
my opinion, Mario Rui is a better player. But if we're talking about UCL, I would take Oliveira, you know, just for his physicality and his size. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But Mario Rui is a better player, and he does fit better in Serie A as well. You know, vice versa with that. We can have a little debate about that
def-
as well.
I mean, definitely way more experience in Serie A than
Yeah.
Oliveira. He's
Yep.
played with Napoli quite a lot longer. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think you're right. I think he is
He's the
the
best
better
left back
choice
in
when it
Serie A. He is.
he's the best in Serie A.
Yes.
Yeah, you no doubt in your mind.
Yep.
We may
Mario
need to
Rui,
come
baby.
back to that. We may need to come back to that in another show after I do some research. You could be right, but
He
I
has
think
the
I need to
best
do some
average rating
research.
at that position in Serie A. I mean, stats don't lie. I don't know.
How many goals has he scored?
How many assists has he delivered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you know what, man? I think he's leading the league in assists at that position.
Yeah. Oh, by far. He's already up there regularly. K Town has
Tell you
freaking
what,
what, 10 assists, 11 assists. He's just 4 behind him.
I'll tell you what, this is what we'll do, man. When
Hmm.
Mario Rui gets his first goal, whether it's at home or on the road, we'll do a specific segment on Mario Rui. How's that sound? He
I
got to
mean, I
get a
don't love the
goal
guy
though.
that much.
Oh,
you
come
love
on,
you
man. If he
love him that
scores a
much?
goal, if he scores a goal, man, come on.
I mean, go for it. I'll be listening, I
All right,
guess,
yeah.
because I don't know too much about him.
Well, we'll both do a lot of research, man. We'll make sure that we're saying stuff that's,
He's
objective
not
and
he's not no
everything. I
Lavezzi
mean,
to me. I mean, he's a great player, but he's not someone I'm super. I mean, we see
dude,
people on the Twitter super passionate about him. No lie about that. And
yeah,
this
man.
voluptuous
The
hair.
the yeah, the fans are falling in love with him, man. I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, when he scores a goal, whew, man, even if it's on the road, if the visitor section is full, they're
Yeah.
gonna lose their mind, man.
It'll be
So
rampant. It'll be
I'm
crazy.
hoping I'm hoping that happens. I'm hoping that happens. More, I mean, I think Mario Rui is a really good player, and I think there's some things that he does really, really good. But the one thing you can't deny is his passion, man. His
Yeah, of course.
passion, that's why that's why fans have fell in love with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he used to be
But
a
to get back
subpar
on,
player when he first came to us, and then look what he is now.
yeah,
He's improved so much.
yeah. In the past, he had those moments where
Yeah, he messed
he
up a
would
lot. Clinical
Yeah,
errors.
he would make a yeah, and he would make a bad foul, and, like,
Yeah.
there was times where what he did in a match, like, sort of cost the match sometimes, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, his impact was so negative that like, I always go back to that PSG match on the road when we had an
Ooh.
opportunity to leave that stadium with the win, and
Yeah.
he gave a mile of room to Di Maria to shoot that shot. I'm like, why didn't you get up on him? But anyway, um, so you picked who'd you say? You said Cavada, man of the match, right?
Yeah. Follow the
Okay, I
match,
got you.
Oliveira.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you what. My man of the match is the fans of the match. I mean, seeing that many people in a road game fill up a stadium when Sassuolo is not 30, 45 minutes away from Napoli, man. That is a truck to get there. It's like a 6-hour drive if I remember right. And just seeing the passion and the celebration that was going on after the game and all the singing in the stadium. For me, man, I hope it continues that way too. I hope that we try to fill up the stadiums everywhere we go as much as possible. So for me, my man of the match is the fans themselves, man. It was really, really cool to see that. It was really emotional, and I hope it continues. But yeah, Cavada had a great game. You talked about Victor a little bit. I think if Victor would have gotten that goal in when he was in front of goal like that and he shanked it a little bit off his left foot. I think if he would have got a brace, it would be really, really hard for me not to say he's man of the match. But yeah, I'm gonna pick the
Right.
fans, man, because they were awesome.
Fair play. What about your flop of the match? Anybody?
Oh, flop of the match. Shit, man, flop of the match. I don't think so. I mean, you talked about Oliveira a little bit, and I don't really remember being disappointed in his overall game. I really don't have a flop of the match. I don't.
Sure.
Um, shit, maybe it's the 20 Sassuolo fans that showed up. All right, so let's transition into the next segment, and that will be talking about that dominating win last night versus Frankfurt.